There is a lot of talk about foods that help with weight loss, but today we're just going to take an opposite approach. So we're going to talk about 4 foods not to eat if you want to lose weight. And some of these foods may be ones that you think are healthy. So just stick with me and it's coming right up. So, hey there, beautiful people. This is Lindy Ford, registered dietitian, clinical and licensed nutritionist, and nutrition detective. Like I promised, we're going to talk about foods not to eat if you'd like to lose weight. And the very first one is really any snack or any food that you're eating by itself that is just carbohydrate. Let me give you some examples. This is something that was really big when I was in college. I hope they don't even sell them. No, they probably do. I think they still sell these. But like rice cakes, just rice cakes by themselves. They look like such a benign product. There's no fat in them, and they look so innocent, but they're not. They're just really a wolf in sheep's clothing because things like just cereal or a granola bar by itself or chips or bread by itself actually creates too much of an insulin response when it's eaten by itself. Because here's the deal. What happens is that insulin is going to go up according to blood sugar. All right, and it's going to go, and insulin is a fattening hormone. So I'm going to link below one of my videos, Weight Loss That Works. It talks all about insulin, everything you ever want to know about insulin and what it does in your body and how it is a fat storage hormone. Well, carbohydrates by themselves actually create more of an insulin response. The other thing too, if you combine a carbohydrate with a good fat or a protein, it actually satiates you. It helps you not to get hungry as fast. And the other thing that it does is that it stabilizes blood sugar a little bit better. So a better choice would be like if I really need a snack in the afternoon, I try not to snack, but if I really need one, I'll take the Simple Mills crackers. Y'all know I love my Simple Mills crackers. You can get them online or you can get them at Whole Foods. I've seen them at Whole Foods, but they're just an almond cracker. They do have carbs, but they are lower. So they're just a lower carb load. And then I'll eat maybe 1 or 2 ounces of some grass-fed cheese. And that is a good fat protein with a carbohydrate, and it's just more satiating and it lasts longer. The other thing, another product that you want to avoid to lose weight is dried fruit. Now, when you think about dried fruit like raisins and dried apricots and those types of things, I want you to think candy. Really, I really want you to think candy because the glycemic response, again, your blood sugar is going up, insulin's being produced, is so high in products like that. Fruit, it's a little bit higher. Remember, fruit is high as well. And then you take the water out and you're just getting this concentrated amount of actually fructose, which is even more glycemic than table sugar. So it is a big hot mess for you to be eating a lot of dried fruit. So be careful in your cereals and in your bars and things like that. I used to eat a lot of the Lara bars, but I had to stop because of the fact that they're primarily a lot of fruit or a lot of dried fruit in them. And I love them, but they're just too glycemic for my physiology. It's just easier to eat more of that kind of product. The other thing is something that could dupe you so easily, and that is a commercial green juice or really any type of juice, okay? Any type of juice, commercial juice, or even something that you juice on your own. I know that sounds antithetical to the wisdom that we hear today, but juices, especially these green juices, and I'll give you one in particular, and that is the Naked Green Machine. I know a lot of you have seen them. They're like in all of the stores. So for 32 ounces of the Green Machine Naked Green Juice, there is actually 133 grams of carbohydrates. I didn't get that wrong. I was really telling you the truth on that one. It's 133 grams. I'm telling you, that would put me into glycemic shock. I could go to the hospital on that many grams of carbohydrate because my blood sugars would just be through the roof. And yet a lot of people don't think anything about eating or drinking an entire one of those or even half of one of those, which is way too much of a glycemic load. Just think that in my day, I try to stick between 30 and 50 grams of carbohydrates a day. So that's enough carbohydrate for me for 4 days. And it's just way too much, and it's an overload. And again, it will lead to fat storage. So be careful of those healthy green drinks. Yeah, they have a lot of good things in them, but the fruits in them, like the apple and the pineapple juices, are the #1 ingredients. And then you don't even get to the green stuff to the end. So a really good green drink is not going to have a whole lot of fruit juice in it. And it's not going to taste as good. So just remember that. Then the very last thing I want to talk to you about is artificial sweeteners. And that is your sucraloses and the aspartames of the world. There are a ton of studies, but the ones that I looked at, I can actually give you a lot more than this, but the ones that I looked at were from the studies of the Canadian Medical Association, and they actually studied over 400,000 people who were doing a lot of these artificial sweeteners. And what they found is that these people had almost no weight loss after 6 months, and then long term they actually gained weight, and it also led to greater rates of diabetes and hypertension and some other nasty things. So in the long run, artificial sweeteners are not helping you. So we don't really understand why they're not contributing to the weight loss that they claim that they're supposed to be doing. But one of the reasons could be because of gut health. They compromise your gut. And I'm going to link a video below about weight loss and gut health, because if your gut is compromised, it's going to be a lot more difficult for you to lose weight. So you want to get your guts really healthy, and artificial sweeteners are not helping you do that. And the second thing is that artificial sweeteners like sucralose and aspartame, those biggies, they actually light up a reward center in the brain, just like table sugar, just like fructose, just like sucrose, just like any sugar, honey, or any of the sugars out there. They light it up in the brain, and they actually leave us craving more sugar. So it's kind of it's a catch-22. You don't want to get into that mode. Believe me, I was at one time the worst offender. I was so addicted to Diet Pepsi. Diet Pepsi was my drug of choice, and could really have used a 12-step program. Unless I'm really stressed, you'll never see me with a Diet Pepsi. Once in a while, I'll have one. I'm being honest. I just got to keep it real and honest. But it's not like it used to be, where the people at my local convenience store knew me by name because I was buying so many big gulps every day. Very sad, but I am reformed, I think. So anyway, I'm so glad to share this with you today. And remember that there are some foods that you may think are healthy, but they may be sabotaging you. And just probably need to stay away from those, or just be wise in your consumption of them. So thank you again for viewing today. And please, if you like this video, just like it down there, a little like button. Really appreciate it. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm going to be bringing you new content every Monday and Friday on the clock, and just good stuff that's going to help you, your family, you become healthier. So it's good. In the New Year's I'm going to be doing more and more good content video. And so you can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and like me on Facebook, Lindy Ford Nutrition and Wellness. So just remember that you deserve the freedom to live your best life in optimal health. Thank you.